Penticton has a massive problem with homelessness. It has been all over the news, and it's even hit the national news as we went above 200 unhoused people, as well as just the visible eyesore that is the Fairview encampment. But let me tell you, 90 days. That is my timeline to move Penticton from tents to keys, using the exact same system that ended chronic homelessness in Medicine Hat and cut it massively in Houston. I'm going to show you the exact plan and, yes, the progress from your phone, and that is my idea. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Jordan West, and I am obsessed with making Penticton better. I've been on the paramedic side of things. I've been on the business side of things. I have been on the landlord side of things. And I understand that this is an incredibly nuanced issue, but Medicine Hat did it. Houston did it. Now it is Penticton's turn. Here is the promise. By the end of this video, you're going to see my 5-step plan to hit 0 unsheltered people in the next 90 days. The daily dashboard that keeps us honest as a city, and how we're going to do it legally, safely, and fast. Real talk, guys. We have all felt the shift here in Penticton. More tents, more suffering, more open drug use, more issues with stealing in downtown. Families feel less safe than ever downtown. Businesses are running defense. The old playbook is done. We are not here to manage the decline. We are here to end it by copying what worked and measuring it daily. Guys, I'm so excited to get into this video today because I really, truly think that with some willpower from City Hall, this is something that we could actually change. And I'm really, really excited. All right, let me tell you about Medicine Hat. This is the moment that they flipped the script. Medicine Hat looked just like us. Encampments by the river, first responders just getting absolutely crushed, businesses begging for relief. But in 2009, they set a measurable goal: functional zero chronic homelessness. And then they built a system. So let me tell you about that system. Number one was a daily by name list. Every single person known by name, updated every single morning. The other was one door in, so coordinated access. So highest need gets the next available unit. There was no cherry picking. So it was just from a list, and the next highest available need got into the door. There was rapid placement. So this is something that I'm going to get into with Penticton, and I think people down in the comments might not like it. That's okay. That's what we're here to do on this YouTube channel, is discuss issues and go back and forth and figure out how we can make Penticton the best city possibly in the world. But it was rapid placement. So private rentals, conversions, and supportive housing. Now here's another huge one. Again, I'll probably get a bunch of flack for this in the comments, and that's okay. These are landlord guarantees. So the city actually backstopped deposits, guaranteed rent, and there was a hotline for any issues that happened. And then number 5 was supporting after move-in. So there was case managers, there was mental health workers, there was addiction care workers. The result, people moved inside in days, not years. Guys, how long has the Fairview encampment been happening? As I am filming this, by the way, there was another eviction notice and nothing has happened. So we all know that there is a really big issue. And if you guys are watching this outside of Penticton, this is a blueprint that we can use across Canada. This is something that a lot of smaller cities and bigger cities as well are dealing with, right? But these cities that used to be these safe havens are just no longer that anymore. Chronic homelessness became rare and brief, and they kept it there in Medicine Hat. It was not magic. It was management. Now, let's talk about Houston, right? Houston, massive city. I don't know if any of you guys have been there. If you have, let me know in the comments. You like Houston? I was recently in Austin. I thought Austin was like super cool. Houston unified agencies under one table. They recruited landlords at scale. And this is the really big thing, is that recruitment of landlords. The problem is NIMBYism is rampant in all of our communities. And I am the same way, right? Not in my backyard. But here's the crazy thing. They unified all of these agencies. They recruited landlords at scale. And then they closed encampments after offering housing. The order matters, right? Build the doors first, have the doors open, and then enforce. If we do not have the doors open, we can't just kick people out. Number one, it's the law, right? That's a really big thing. We can't just like take people out and be like, well, you better deal with it. Though I know a lot of us are probably thinking that and probably actually want that. But let's figure out how we can actually do this together. So that is how they cut homelessness by a vast majority. It's crazy. Now, here is another one. This is Siri Norway. Hopefully you guys don't have your Apple devices on right now. But in Siri, Norway, their superpower was cadence. Now, every single morning at 8:30 a.m., they cleared the list. New names in, matches out, blockers solved. This is something that is incredibly important. And you guys will see as you get to know me a little bit more within Penticton and all of this kind of stuff, I am all about cadence and just doing the thing that we know that as we do it over time will solve the problem. And I think that that is a massive part about this. So here's a couple of things that we can potentially do. We can copy that rhythm plus add in an AI powered public dashboard so that the city can actually watch the needle move. Again, scorecards in business and for a city, incredibly important. We love scorecards. Scorecards help us in such incredible ways. So let's talk about Penticton. We have the pieces. Now let's install the operating system, right? We've tried bits and pieces, winter shelter expansions, decampments, some rent supports. It's useful, but it's not a system. Now it's time for one table, one list, one door every single day. So let's talk about the Penticton operating system, and here is my 5-step plan. And again, this comes straight from Medicine Hat, and I really truly believe that this is something that we could implement as a city. Now, before I go on here, guys, if this is something that you're like, oh man, why have we not done this as a city? Share this with some friends. Share this if you have, people within City Hall. Again, guys, I am just doing this as a hobby because I absolutely love Penticton. I do have multiple day jobs as one as a CEO. But if you guys think that this is something like, oh man, we want to see this happen, share it with your friends at City Hall, right? Share it with counselors, share it around the city, and let's start actually taking real action, not just half measures. Now, let's get into the Penticton operating system, and here is my 5-step plan. Step 1, a daily dashboard and by name list. Transparency wins. I am done with black box policies. We're going to be publishing a daily score. Housed yesterday. We want that in there. New inflow. Who is coming into our city and where are they coming from? We hear all sorts of stuff about, oh yeah, people just get dropped off here from the prison. Awesome. I mean, that's not awesome, but we want to know where they are coming from. And I think that that's incredibly important. Average days to housing, right? We want that scorecard. Encampments active. How many encampments do we actually have going on? Even if there are only 2 or 3 people, how many encampments? And then public safety calls near these sites is really important. I would even add one more piece in there. If we could work with the RCMP is how many reports are actually being made. And then as a city, what we need to do at that point is then actually start reporting things, because I think that a lot of us have just gotten sick of it. And it's like, okay, yeah, there was some vandalism. Yeah, they stole, I don't know, whatever, a can of gas. Okay, it's not a big deal. And you don't even talk about it. That's a really big deal, right? Once we become apathetic to these things, then we think that we can't change them. But newsflash, we can actually change them. And if we stall having a public scorecard, we are going to see it the same day. And if we win, we're going to see that too. And as a city, we will win. I have no doubt about it that we can do this. Now, step 2 is one command table, one door, 0 silos. Again, in business, one of the things that I've learned over the years is that when you silo different organizations and you silo all these different people, things do not work nearly as well as being able to break down those walls. The city, 100 more homes, BC Housing, Interior Health, the PIB, the RCMP, and bylaw, all off the same list. One queue, one rule. The next available door goes to the highest need match. We meet every single morning at 8:30. We don't adjourn with problems. We adjourn with owners. Again, I'm just writing this all from my business experience. And I really, truly think that as a city, we can do this. We can do this. And I am so confident that the people at City Hall, with the will of the city, that we could actually do this. Now, step 3 is from tents to keys, 180 doors in 1 year. Let's talk about that. So speed beats everything. Here's the mix. 60 permanent supportive housing doors. Some of this might have to be motel conversions, but there needs to also be a pipeline. Now, I recently did a whole video, and it's the last video that I actually published. There's a whole video on how we actually bring affordable housing into the city. So go back, watch that video. I have a bunch of ideas within there, but I think that it's incredibly important that we bring in actual affordable housing, not just these conversions, right? Because we don't necessarily just want everyone all in one place at one time together. Again, I was a paramedic in Surrey. I know how that goes up in Wally, and it's not pretty, right? Even like these modular housing units where everyone is together, it's not pretty. It doesn't necessarily just solve the problem. Now, here's the big one. 120 rapid rehousing and rent supplement doors. These are private rentals that the city actually backstops anything that could potentially go wrong, but we need to get people into houses. Now, I'm going to hear a lot of NIMBY people out there just saying, like, well, I don't want that. I don't want that. And that's fine. That's fine. You don't have to have that. But here's the big thing. I think that we should put in a landlord risk mitigation fund. So 3 to 5K per door guarantee and guaranteed on-time rent, plus a 24-hour manned hotline so that landlords feel good about this. They're like, okay, you know what? Maybe I will have someone renting. I know it's crazy. I know it's a crazy idea, but it's something that has worked and it brings us together as a community. I really think that, like, as humans, we just want to do something for people, right? And we just want to help. This is one of those ways that we can help. Now, I also think that it's really important that we talk about some complex care slots for those folks who fail in standard sort of issues. And that's a big part of the people that are on the streets right now are people that we should be supporting in different ways. These are brain injuries. These are like multiple mental health issues all together. I have owned rentals and Airbnbs, and I know what owners worry about. So we're going to de-risk it. We're going to give guaranteed rent, guaranteed contact, which I think is a huge thing, and guaranteed standards. Now, step 4 is safer streets, legal and firm. Offers first, then enforce. Let's get into that a little bit here. We are going to co-respond by law with a clinician and a peer. So we already have that, luckily, here in Penticton. Love it. Great job. That's with the RCMP so that every repeat caller becomes a housing touch, not just a ticket. We're going to sign a good neighbor agreement at every single site. Posted rules, the 24/7 number, garbage and needle sweeps, and a consequence ladder. I think that's really, really important because we've just been so lax without real consequences. And I don't know, like, I have 4 kids. I know that doesn't work. Parenting. I have companies with tons and tons of employees. I know that with no consequences, nothing actually happens. And so we can't continue to do this. This is not working, and we know that it's not working. And yes, we're going to reclaim parks and corridors. The order matters. Alternatives first, enforcement after. That is how you fix it and you stand up in court, because that is one of the really big issues. Now, step 5 is prevention. We need to turn off the taps. This is the cheapest win on earth. Eviction diversion will scale the rent bank. We're going to stop hospital and jail discharges to the street and then create a youth track so under 25s do not enter this chronic pipeline. And this is the really important part of this, is actually understanding as a city, where are we going wrong? Why is this happening to our young people and why are they ending up on the streets, right? Those saves show on the dashboard too. And I think that this is a really, really great idea. Sequence is the strategy. The first 30 days, publish the dashboard, stand up the daily table, sign the landlord pact, and secure 50 doors. This is a mix of masters and private leases. Days 31 to 90, clear the top of the list. Close encampments only after we hit offers and hit 0 unsheltered by day 90. Within 12 months, reach 180 doors set up. Stand up complex care, which I know that we're already on our way there. Lock in the good neighbor standards and drop calls around the hot spots. Today, I really believe that we can do this, but if people understand that we actually have options and we don't just drive by and say, like, well, I guess this is the province's problem. I guess that this is Ministry of Transportation's problem. I guess that this is their problem and their problem. Guys, it's all our problem. It's all our problem. And if you can understand that, if you can understand that we have the ability to do something about this, we just need the willpower to actually do it. That is going to change this. So what can you do today? Well, number 1, take this video and share it around with people, right? Let people know, like, hey, I think that Jordan has some interesting thoughts here. Share it with anyone that is involved with the city so that they can see, like, hey, maybe this is a good idea. If you guys want, feel free to reach out to me. I've made some time for coffee with people in Penticton. I absolutely love it here, guys, and I just want to see it better. And I also know that people that are unhoused don't necessarily, now some people do, some people don't, but like the majority of people want to have a better life. They want to have purpose and meaning and friends and not be addicted, right? That's not what people want at the end of the day. And I think as a city, we can do this. And then we can be a shining light, a beacon for the rest of Canada when they look at Penticton and say, oh my gosh, they solved that problem. How do we now get that same help in our city? And I think it's really simple. And I think that this is the plan. So if you like this, hit subscribe below. Feel free to contact me on, I don't know, wherever, if you can find me. Yeah, I post every once in a while on Facebook, so you can get a hold of me there. But thank you guys, and let me know what you thought, or if you have some better ideas. If you think, Jordan, I've got a way better idea than you, let me know down in the comments. Thanks, guys.